Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh, God.
The first November Chubs Gone Wild. Well, wait, that's not exactly right. The first one for this year. How's that? Does that work?
Well, it's true.
True. For this year. Anyway, it is Chubs Gone Wild episode 566, recorded on Monday, November 4th, 2024, where it's 71 degrees and sunny outside in Chubland. Where, okay, there's a mouthful. Ready for this? It's only 24 days until Thanksgiving. Wow. 47 until winter solstice / Yule. 51 till Christmas and Hanukkah starts. 58 until New Year's Day, and 361 days until Halloween. I'm wondering what TJ is planning for her next costume.
So is Christmas and Hanukkah the same day this year?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh,
Starts the same day.
well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. All right. It is everyone take a breath, which I'm about to do. Excuse me. Center yourself and repeat after me. I am free to be who I want to be, living my life as I choose.
Well, we'll see if that holds true tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. I'm fingers, everything is crossed. Everything is crossed. Anyway, all right. So Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and a lot more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ Sausage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brother Sadis, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. And for a minute there, Mr. Juan Carlos. Visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame to find out how you can be a supporter of our work for as little as $1 a month. And yes, Mr. Juan Carlos, who is a former Patreon, stopped by and said hi for birthday month, and we totally appreciate that. Thank you so much. All right. Well, a lot happened in history on today. However, the thing that we're going to be talking about is, with over 13 million votes cast, California voters approved Proposition 8 on November 4th, 2008, amending the state's constitution only to ban same-sex marriage. Only months earlier, in May 2008, the California Supreme Court had deemed that the state's ban on same-sex marriage was unconstitutional, making California the second state in a country to legalize gay marriage. Thus, Proposition 8 reversed the state's court ruling. And as we know, a lot of that was in the wording, to mention some of the bigger groups from outside of our state, like the Mormons, who said, no, bad dog, and pumped tons and tons of money into California. But that's in the past, except for potentially tomorrow.
Yeah, but because of that, this particular situation, it finally got to the Supreme Court.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Supreme Court goes, this is bullshit. This is not, fuck you people. Just no. And I remember the day that happened, because it was it the 27th or 28th of June, 2013. Mm-hmm. And I remember watching the news, and it was this always gets me.
Mhm.
But I was watching the news and they had all these people, all these gay and lesbian people trying to get married. And I can't remember if it was San Francisco or LA, but um, someone's going, well, we can't do that. We've got to hear, we can't until we get told we can't give that marriage license. So the guy's on the phone and he's going, the person on the phone is going, you need to start handing out marriage license. And the guy goes, I'm sorry, but the only person that can tell me to do that is the attorney general. And she goes, my name is Kamala Harris and I'm the attorney general. Hand those things out. And it was just amazing. Just amazing. So, and that was Kamala Harris, people.
Yeah.
She's the one that, in our state, this was the first one on the phone telling people to open up the doors for the marriage license for the gay and lesbian people.
Yeah. Yeah. That was really something, I remember. And the thing is, because it was California, you and I knew quite a bit of the people that were on the forefront of that and were some of the first people to get married. And,
yeah, I mean, it was a who's who.
Yeah. And we worked with them on and off for different projects over the years. And it was just wonderful to see all that come together. So anyway, all right. Well, let's go ahead and move into holidays and see if we celebrated any holidays deliberately or accidentally today. Starting with the Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. Did you broadcast any traffic today?
No.
Oh. It's also Job Action Day. Did you take any action on a job today?
I pooped twice.
Oh, well, there you go. You're retired, so that's your job. It's also King Tut Day, National Candy Day. What? Wasn't that like 4 days ago?
Well, that's because this is about the day that you're done eating everything in the bag.
Yeah. This is the day you go to your doctor and they're like, we have some bad news for you. I don't know where that voice came from. All right. National Chicken Lady Day. Chicken Lady, yeah.
Is that the thing from what was it, the not the
New Kids in the Kids in the Hall.
Kids in the Hall, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So that is it.
Lady.
Yeah, I like the chicken lady.
I like you too. Anyway, I love that character. He was so good at that. We also have National Easy Bake Oven Day. No, nope, never had one. Never. Well, maybe I wanted one for like 5 seconds and then realized you had to do work. Well, no, that wasn't. No.
Well, I've used one, and the problem was that the cake pans were about this big, about the size of a donut, and not very high. So you get out these things that were like, this is a waste of my time. Yeah. I could be, and you heated it with just a 60-watt light bulb. So I was already baking at that point. So I had an oven, but I did have a friend who had one, and so I had to try it out, and it was bullshit.
Yeah, training little girls to be little domestic moms and stuff like that.
Oh my God! Speaking of that, I was reading an article, and I wished I had recorded, taken a picture of it. But it was talking about when women first got the right to vote, and then, and that was in the 1920s, and then they were, a woman couldn't buy a home, couldn't buy property until the 1970s without a man.
Yeah.
Women, black women couldn't vote until the 1960s. It was just a woman could not divorce from her husband until the 1960s. I think it was 1960s or 1970s. The husband could divorce the wife, but the wife could not divorce the husband. And it was really cool because at the end it said, because they kept doing dates, so years. And the last one was 2024 when we finally had a woman president.
Yeah, I'm so ready for it. I know that there's things like it was like 1973 or something before a woman could have a checking account without a man like okaying it or being like
Well, an independent checking account.
yeah. And,
What did a woman who was single do?
but that's why, you know what, that crossed my mind, and I was like, well, I guess they had to stuff their money in a mattress or something. Because what did you do?
Yeah, well, again, this is the easy bake oven, teaching little girls that they need to bake and get a man and have
Yeah.
somebody, just this, because they've got the Harris has a commercial where these women are voting for Harris, but they're not telling their husbands.
Oh yes,
And
I saw
and
those.
so there was this pundit on the Republican side going, "This is disgusting.
Yeah,
How could
this is
she
like
do that?
cheating.
This man pays for her home and
Oh,
her
sweet man.
clothing and her, not that she has a job too,
Hmm.
because let's face it, in this economy,
Yeah.
name how many households have just one income.
Yep.
So it was like, but basically he was saying she should do what he says for her to do.
Uh-huh. And not only that,
Basically, they own that woman when they get married.
mhm, yep.
It's terrible,
But
just awful.
that sucker said this sweet man works day in and out to take care of her, provide her a good life. This is like cheating. If my wife did it, I'd divorce her. I was like, oh my God.
And she would be glad you did.
Yeah. What
Yeah,
a
I
fuck.
know. But this is still going on, in 2024, where men think that they own the woman that they married.
Well, and that's the thing is you looking at those dates when they got certain rights, like in the like 70s, 80s, 90s, like marital rape was like okay while I was alive. Like I'm looking at these dates going, I was alive. I may have been a little kid at certain times, but I was alive when this shit was going on.
Right. I
And
mean,
that's ridiculous to
it
me.
well, I mean, we know that they considered black people 5/8 of a human,
Ugh,
but they also didn't think women were 100% human either.
apparently.
Obviously, it's just God, God, it's and that happened. This is stuff going on when I was alive,
Yeah. Yeah.
and some of them when you were alive.
Yeah.
Ugh, it's just
First woman
disgusting.
president, black, Indian. I'm all for it. Let's do it. All
Please.
right. It's also National Skeptics Day. Well,
Oh,
we
great.
celebrated that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
All right. National Waiting for the Barbarians Day. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So far, it's
Yeah.
all is working here.
And Use Your Common Sense Day.
Oh God.
That October 10th. Yep. All right. Moving on into birthdays. I imagine we had some good birthdays this time. Do do do. Hey, guess what? You don't have. Oh, when your friends have birthdays, they will appear here, which is actually code for, you know, sign on to the right thing. Okay, here we go. Happy birthday today to Pauline, Daniel, Stephanie, and Jay the Hot Cub. Oh, my stars and garters. It's also Ramble Redhead's birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Ramble Redhead. And coming up here, we have click, click. Happy birthday to Mimo, Jay, Mark, Sharon, Kelly, Cindy from our local library. We have Ian, Bobby, Bill, Michael, Lucy, Ed, Victor, Paul. Wow, a lot of people being born here. We also got some Rich and some Key and Robert, a Ouija's birthday's coming up this Saturday. I'll be emailing you about that. Or actually texting, I mean. Let's see. We have Bob, Cash, and Roy Dif girl. DeFritas? Paul, Dell, Robert, and my step grandmama, Paula. That's right. So happy birthday to all of you. Leave that open so I can remind myself that somebody needs a card later. All right, where are we here? We did birthdays. That means we're into feedback, or we had a little feedback conversation come in from Mr. Nephi, who said, who was talking about the what famous movie car would we get? And we were talking about cars, and he's like, I can't believe you guys didn't say the DeLorean from Back to the Future. And as I told him, or will tell him actually, soon, well, no, I did. You know what? DeLoreans are, that would have been my first choice, except fat people don't get in DeLoreans.
Yeah, I was thinking the exact same thing.
So yeah, that's kind of why I didn't say that. The same reason that I said I didn't do the Dukes of Hazard car, because I can't squeeze in the freaking window. So anyway,
Well,
yeah.
speaking of that, let him know. Well, I'll let him know now.
Hmm.
If Back to the Future, the musical, comes to town and it is touring, to definitely go out and see it. For some reason, it's closing in New York. I don't get it. First of all, I don't get it. It's still, it started off in London and it's still playing there to, sold out crowds. Why? I know the tour the tour is doing well here, but it's like I don't get why it didn't work in New York. It just doesn't make sense. It was a fantastic show.
Wow.
So
yeah, definitely need to get him to see that. He just saw Gladys Knight. He just saw Cheyenne Jackson. What was that? He saw Assassins.
interesting show.
That's kind of what he said too. He's like, well, it was not my favorite, but I really enjoyed it.
Well, the music's good because it's Sondheim, but
Yeah.
the idea of it's a musical about all the people who have tried to assassinate either presidents or political people, and
Oh,
it's like,
and
okay.
and he said at the very end there was a silhouette of like a Trump type person in a hat, a gunshot, and then the guy grabbed his ear.
Wow.
Yeah. So very interesting. Yeah. Anyway, he's doing so much. I love hearing about all the stuff he does, but I almost can't keep up with him anymore. Uh anyway, so thank you, Mr. Nephi, for that feedback. And he also wanted to give a shout out to Timothy, who he said asked some really good questions. All right. Also, we got into Chub Hugs, and I want to send a Chub Hug out to Scott and Mark for the package that they sent. I absolutely loved it. It had some British candy and chocolates and crisps and things like that in it. And well, yeah, I had a moment where I just sampled a little bit of everything, and I still got to say that well, I guess I don't have to say. There's one candy bar that's a crisp, like a really crisp one inside that I just absolutely love. But I forget. It's like name's gone. All right. Also, everybody who sent me birthday love, and y'all know who you are. Thank you for the cards, the shout outs, the Facebook comments, everything. I was truly appreciated and very, very, wow. I'm very thankful for it. How about you? What you got?
Well, I'm going to send Chub Hugs out to everybody that's been dealing with this election.
Yeah.
It's much worse in states that are swing states
Mhm.
or, volatile states as far as election goes. And just, make sure you're getting out the vote.
Yeah.
And we got that interesting news from Iowa over the weekend that Harris is ahead according to what's considered to be the best polling in the nation.
Yeah.
And we've got places like North Carolina that may be coming over to the blue, and we need Pennsylvania, we need Michigan and Minnesota
Mhm.
and Wisconsin and hopefully Georgia. And I'd love to see something else swing blue that they aren't expecting.
I
So
would love to see Texas swing.
Texas, I'd love to see Florida.
That is another one. The only reason I think Texas is because I really want Cruz to
Oh
lose.
yeah, Cruz. That's one thing that if we can get Cruz out, that'll
Mhm.
be so nice, so
Yeah.
nice. But so all you guys that are out there suffering through this, we got one more day, and then we'll find out what happens.
And speaking of that, the one thing that's affecting me about this is watching I watched one of Rachel Maddow's reports where she talked about at least 8 different cases of the women who've been affected by the abortion ban.
Oh, terrible.
And some of them can't have kids anymore. Some of them are just dead. Uh, with families that, I mean, little kids that have lost their moms because of this shit. And
Well,
others
and
that like have heart problems for the rest of their lives because of infections and
and the doctors that have to tell them no.
yeah.
I mean, it's got to be just, I mean, the kind of guilt that they're going to experience because they didn't do anything, because their hands are literally tied.
Yep.
It's the whole thing is just ugly, and well, hopefully it'll end soon.
Yeah. Uh,
Okay.
well, I want to send one other quick little tiny chub hug out to you. Uh, you bought me a very wonderful blanket for my birthday, and I used it the night I got home, and I've been using it every night since, and it is just lovely.
Now, did you throw it over your head
I
and just cocoon in it?
I have done that. I use it like I just get into bed and cover up. It's so nice. It's very, very nice. So anyway, all right. Let's see. Next we have the news. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Oh, no, not going to talk about that. Okay. Let's stick with Kennedy. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. waded into another scientific debate on Saturday by saying Donald Trump's administration would advise that fluoride be removed from the country's water supplies if the former president wins. Tuesday's presidential election. On January 20th, the Trump White House will advise all U.S. water systems to remove fluoride from public water. Fluoride is an industrial waste associated with arthritis, bone fragments, bone cancer, IQ loss, neurodevelopmental disorders, and thyroid disease. Kennedy, a former independent presidential candidate, wrote in a social media post. Oh, they're also going to stop all vaccines, according to him.
Great.
Dumb as a fucking post.
Yeah, we polio makes a return.
Yeah. American actor James Vanderbeek says he was diagnosed with colorectal cancer. The 47-year-old, known for starring in the TV series Dawson's Creek and the film Varsity Blues, told People magazine about his diagnosis and treatment. I have colorectal cancer. I've been privately dealing with this diagnosis and have been taking steps to resolve it, he told the outlet. He says there is reason for optimism and that he is feeling good. Awesome that he's feeling good. Hope he gets over that. All right. Now, Tom has some big names to tell us about in the celebrity deaths column.
First of all, earlier in the last week, Terry Garr died. Now she's the comic actress and singer who brought her buoyant personality, Young Frankenstein, as well as Tootsie. She died Tuesday in Los Angeles after a long battle with MS. She was 76.
Wow.
I mean, she had as much love over the social media as we've recently seen like Angela Lansbury and
Mhm.
just some of the recent biggies. And I met her one time in Los Angeles, and I sold her a ticket at a movie theater. So it was, but it was a thrill because I just adored her. So that was very sad news, and the fact that it was a long battle with MS that I hadn't heard about.
Yeah,
Did did you know she was also Phoebe's mother on Friends?
that strikes a chord, but I wouldn't have been unless you said that. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, yeah. It's you go back and you look at what she's done, and it is quite extraordinary.
Mhm.
Um,
I
let's
forgot
see.
she was in Tootsie.
Oh my God, she
Yeah.
was the one who lost the. They wouldn't even let me read because they said I was too pretty, or something like that. And I'm spending all this money for these glasses. Ah! She throws the glasses down, and he picks up the glasses and gets the parts. So, um, love she was, and that was her one and only Oscar nomination. I would have thought she would have nominated for Young Frankenstein as well.
Yeah.
But anyway, Alan Retchins, best known for his work on LA Law and Dharma and Greg, died Saturday. He was 82.
Mhm.
And this morning, we got the sad news that Quincy Jones, producer and entertainment powerhouse, died today at 91 years old.
Wow.
I mentioned that to Sean, and you know what he said?
Hmm.
Who?
Yeah. I was gonna say I would not be surprised if he did say that,
Um,
but
and then
I'll tell you.
I said he produced Thriller.
Yeah.
Oh, and he did the music to The Color Purple, and he
Mhm.
won like a zillion Grammys. It was I was reading through his Grammy wins, and it was just crazy how many he won
So many
over the years.
decades of music and has been was shaped by him,
Yeah,
founded, shaped, produced, just
from the 60s
wow.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was constantly working.
Yeah. So what very much a loss, and but he left us with a legacy that will continue for generations as long as somebody white doesn't get in the White House. Anyway, moving on. And now Tom wants to tell you about.
Well, I did want to mention that Frasier is in his second season, and this new season is actually better than the first one. They kind of got their footing again, so that's great. Um, let's see. We finished up Murders in the Building this last week, the finale, season 4. We knew who the killer was last week, but we had to get everyone safe from the killer and get the killer exposed. So he had kidnapped Selena's character, um, and so the boys came to the rescue, and then Martin Short gets married to Meryl Streep, and there was no murders in the building. Uh-oh, except at the end, because that fountain, that's not a wine fountain. So why is it pumping out pink wine? Oh no, the doorman has been killed. Okay.
Oh,
So, and they are coming back for a 5th season.
wow.
Yeah.
I'd be afraid to live in their building.
Yeah. Um, on Survivor this week, it was really, really sad because at the tribal council, it was down. There were 6 people that could qualify to go home. There were 5 from one tribe, and one that was, because it's where they kind of pulled stones, and so they weren't all from the same team.
Mm.
So it was easy for them to send home the person that was from the other team. That'd be an easy choice, except that person had basically a get out of free idol that was only to be used at this tribal council. So, and it said, Jeff goes, yeah, this is it. And by the way, it says, now you need to grab your torch and immediately go back to camp. So they're like, see ya. And so then it was down to the 4 remaining members of the tribe. And they're all kind of going, well, now it could be any of us. And then and Tiara was going, I mean, I would be devastated if I got sent home because whoever goes home tonight doesn't go to the jury, they go home. And this has been a big dream for me, and then they voted her off and she cried a lot. She was sobbing as she was walking off, as they walk off the set. it
Yeah.
was it was really, really sad. I mean, it was emotional. It was really emotional, and most of the time I don't care, but it was just the situation. Anyway,
I think
um
that a lot of the players nowadays, especially the younger players, almost, are like happy to be blindsided because they're just so happy to have been in the game and to be played, and
yeah,
uh,
but
not
yeah.
all of us.
So let's see, on Tracker, we're just one away from being all caught up on Tracker.
Ah,
And we're all caught up on Elsbeth and on Matlock, so that's
oh,
exciting. Um, on Agatha, all along. The finale was, it was kind of weird because I was not expecting um, what happening. I mean, when because they have been giving us origin stories for everybody, and we really hadn't seen hers until the very last episode, and come to find out that she was a witch, but she was also a witch hunter and
yeah,
killer, and so that was weird. I did not expect that. But my favorite line was when Billy is going, "Oh my God, they died. The other witches all died," and she goes, "Well, that's okay. I was going to kill him anyway if that door didn't show up underneath my basement."
yeah.
It's just like, oh well, I was going to kill him anyway, so we're fine.
Uh,
Yes, so I thought that was kind of funny, and the ending was good. So, but the thing with her son was very sad. But I had new love for the death, the Grim Reaper witch,
oh yeah,
because I mean she wasn't terrible. She just was doing her job.
right.
So that was interesting too. Anyway, I really enjoyed it. Um, and boy, that thing's going to get so many nominations at the Emmys next year. um I mean, just you'll get a few acting ones, but you're going to get all of those technical ones, costumes and makeup. And I mean,
Yeah,
they had new costumes every single episode. I was watching a thing, just I saw a meme of all the different outfits that Catherine Hahn had during the show, and it was crazy how many she had.
yeah,
So that's fun, and she's the first female to show a bare ass in a Marvel project. So
yeah. Well, and
there
not
you,
to mention how gay this was.
yeah,
There was
yeah.
so much gaiety in it, and it was really, really nice.
Oh, by the way, I know you're looking forward to Death Becomes Her on Broadway.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Well, and I've been hearing that it's so gay. It makes
Oh.
it's so gay that it makes La Cage aux Folles look straight. So
Wow,
yeah.
that is hard to do. I'm also looking forward to the new Dune series on Max.
Well, it does look better than the movie, so I'm hoping.
Yeah.
And also tonight is and this being Monday the 4th, this is the 5,000th performance of Book of Mormon on Broadway.
Wow.
Can you imagine doing a show for 5,000 times? Of course, then you look at Wicked, which is on its 21st year on Broadway, and I don't even know how many that is. It's crazy.
Um,
Um, let's see, Bachelorette. They went to Tahiti, and Pasquale, who is the gentleman from Chicago, he owns a like a salon, with hair and massage and the whole thing, like very upscale. He said that he doesn't know if he can ever love somebody again,
oh.
and so I think he left. It was weird because he got on the boat, but I didn't see. Usually they kind of make more of an effort to of what's going on. And but
Mhm.
that's that. I mean, yeah, it was weird. It was very weird, or maybe I was just distracted. But okay, Grotesquerie, which is on Hulu. Um, Boy, what a mess this thing was. So episode seven, everyone basically dies. And then episode 8, we find out, oh no, no, she was just in a coma the whole time, that she was just dreaming. And we're back at Dallas, with the shower sequence where they just cut out a whole season and said, no, we were just kidding, it's not working. So and then
Hmm.
then all of a sudden the dream, the killings in her dream become realities, and we don't know who's doing it. And at the end, she goes, I'm coming out of retirement to solve this. And I'm like, I don't care. I want you to go back into retirement and never have me have to watch the show again. It's a mess.
Oh,
It's just a mess. Let's see. I'm looking down my list. Okay, I saw 3 movies. First one I saw was Carved over on Hulu, and this is about a killer pumpkin who, right when they're going to have this pumpkin carving contest, and as soon as the knife is about ready to puncture the pumpkin, its vines come out and rip the hands off of the person that's doing it,
ah,
and then takes the knife and then starts stabbing that person. And then everyone starts screaming, and then the pumpkin starts killing the other carvers, and they all run out, or they're hiding. And then we spend the next like hour trying to figure out how we're going to kill the pumpkin or what. It was
huh.
it was somewhat entertaining, but it could have been a really good short 20-minute film too. You know,
Oh,
they did a lot of fill. Then at the theaters, I saw Venom, which you saw last week as well,
nice.
and it was entertaining, but I think there was just too much going on, just too much. I didn't get to see. I mean, he ate the heads off those 4 guys that were doing the dog fighting,
Yeah.
but that's what I really like. I like to see him, like kill bad people, and I didn't get to see enough of that.
Um,
So, and but he's my favorite character, and he wasn't doing. He was too nice this time.
um,
Yeah, I don't know. It's but I
I
mean,
enjoyed it, but again, I enjoyed the action in it.
I mean, it was still entertaining. Don't
Mhm.
get me wrong, but I did miss his just being ornery and
Uh-huh.
grumpy all the time. That's so much fun. And then over on Max, I saw Cadeo Lake, which is Dylan O'Brien. From the what was the maze thing? Was it the maze? What
Oh
was the
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Um,
Maze
so
Runner.
what?
Maze Runner.
Maze Runner, thank you. So he stars as a man who's trying to solve his mother's death.
Hmm.
And at the same time, there is a girl that goes missing, a 8-year-old girl that goes missing, and her stepsister is out trying to find her. And both of them end up in a place where, because when it's a very swampy place, um, and there's a certain area in the swamp that's a time warp, and it's a time warp between the time periods where the swamp is in a drought period. So in like 1952 was the one of the first droughts that was registered. Then there was one in the 70s. There was one in the 2005, and they're currently in a drought. So these two characters keep getting caught in this time warp thing going on, and of course this is produced by M. Night Shyamalan, so there is a twist, and I won't give that away, but it was very twisty.
Mm.
I'll just say that much. And at the end, I'm like going, okay. Now I'm getting it now. I'm getting it now. It was a bit confusing when it was actually going on.
Uh-huh.
And then I felt better afterwards when they finally said, okay, dummy, this is what happens. Oh, okay, I feel better. And that's it for my week. So yeah.
Well, you talked about Agatha all along,
Right.
and then there's Great British Baking Show. I didn't watch it this week.
Oh, well, it was a very sad week for me. I'll just say that much.
Little Greek guy went home.
What?
What? I don't know. Anyway, I'll catch up and we'll talk. Matlock episode 3. I have it, but I didn't get a chance to watch it.
It was a good one.
Okay. I'm looking forward to it. It's a good show. And then Halloween Baking Championship. I finished this up last night, and the guy who twisted his ankle in the finale, he was the winner. Now you finished it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, so the girl that was in the finale, the woman that was in the finale with him. Oh my God, what was she on? Like for 2 episodes, it was like, girl, are you on crack? What the hell is going? You were just like weird, and I'm sure that it was show personality and all that stuff, but it was like I don't remember you from hardly any of the episodes, and all of a sudden you're just like insane. So anyway,
Well, that's how it's so weird that like even on the Golden Bachelorette, the guy that they sent home from hometowns, like I said, when she picked him to go to the hometowns, I'm like, who is that?
yeah,
It's so weird when the some characters are, well, some of these people make no impression on you at all, and then all of a sudden they're like in the finale.
yeah.
Okay.
I have no idea. I
Well,
was
and
like, I don't remember
it's the
her.
producers that are, cutting, directors,
Yeah.
producers, editors, putting together who's interesting and who's not. But you and if you're going to send somebody that far into the game, we should have some knowledge of who they fucking are.
Exactly. So, all right. As far as my week, well, I of course watched Practical Magic. That was the last
Did
Halloween.
you did you have midnight margaritas?
No, no, I don't
Boo.
drink at home. So, but I had Midnight Diet Coke. That was pretty cool. But yeah, that was the last Halloween film. I finished up with that one, and that was fun. I of course did a couple days a day before that. I finally finished The Good Witch season 7, and I really enjoy it. I kind of wish that they would come back with more of them, but at the same time, I'm kind of happy where it ended too. I mean, they all came out as witches, and they actually said the word, and they had lesbian characters at the end, an actual lesbian kiss. It was just I was very happy with the whole show. I miss it. Anyway, well, okay, those are the ones that are okay. So I also watched the second episode of Happy's Place, which is the new Reba McEntire one, and oy vey. The thing is she's so good. The blonde actress that she was also in Reba with, I need to learn her name, is so good. The two of them play off each other so well, and the rest of the cast is just like you're watching community theater, and that makes it sad. Sad. I want to like this show so much. I want them to, how some shows like they'll go like a couple episodes and then like all of a sudden they'll just change up and some characters will disappear and new ones come in and the show gets revamped without even really saying anything.
Oh, you mean like when Chris changed races in the Partridge Family?
Chris.
Chris, the drummer.
Uh, Races.
They were not the same race, I'll tell you.
Oh,
I
okay.
I don't know. I don't know.
That, but
I don't remember the one kid, but I mean the first kid, but he didn't look like any of the other kids in the family. And then the next season came back and they had a kid that looked just like Shirley Jones. Yeah.
I do remember that they switched that kid, yes, but I didn't think that. But you know, what was the other? I was gonna name another example where they did something like that, where just all of a sudden, like a couple episodes later, everything was different. And if they did that, then they might fix the show. But in the meantime, I don't expect this one to last unless they just need something. So, and then the only other thing that I really watched besides political shows this week was Beetlejuice 2, which I think is Beetlejuice.
Okay, look. Now maybe maybe he's not a different race, but he is definitely not a member of that family.
Well, that I can see, unless he really took after his dad, because we never met the dad. We don't know anything about the dad.
Yeah, but
They never
everybody else
mentioned the dad.
everybody else looks the same. It was really good casting, except for maybe he was the only kid that came in that played an instrument.
Maybe.
Or at least that age that played an instrument.
Yeah.
And then, of course, this is the kid that took his place.
Oh yeah.
Look,
Oh my God. I have a picture like almost exactly like that in a shirt, very much like that, with hair very much like that, but maybe a few pounds heavier. So, but yeah, so I watched Beetlejuice, and I was disappointed. There was some stuff that was fun. It was great to see some of the cast. Actually, the cast was great. Um, but wow, it seemed like they were like, oh, well, we have to give something fun and gross for the kids. So let's slime things. Let's add some slime to things and some blood. Every time somebody speaks and something gross here and there. And I think it just sucked some of the fun out of the film to have those components in it. And yeah, I don't know.
See, the only problem I had with it was Beetlejuice's ex-wife didn't get enough screen time.
Right, yeah.
And all she did, and she got a few scenes. We didn't find out much about her until the very end, and it was like she was the most interesting thing, and the least interesting thing was the guy who wanted to marry Winona Ryder.
Right, exactly. Which they gave so much screen time to, and I'm just like, this guy's just gross.
Yeah, well, it's just
he's pointless and gross.
It's not an interesting character.
Right.
And even though he turned out to be, bad, still it didn't help. It just didn't do anything. But I did like the whole thing with the kid that Wednesday meets.
Yes.
I thought that was
really
a good story. Yeah.
Yeah. And I love the way that, well, that one concluded.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there was like half the movie I really liked, and half the movie I was just like, oh my God, just get on with it. So there you go. If you get a chance to watch it for like free or rent it for like $3 or something like that, do it. If you like the Beetlejuice stuff, absolutely you should watch it. But otherwise, meh. Anyway. All right. Oh, and I had a little birthday party with my friends, and that was fun. And they did a taco bar for me, and it was really good. At first, I was like, but it turned out to be really good. Y'all did an amazing job pulling all that together. And I got a big chocolate cake, yellow cake with chocolate icing, and really good ice cream, and some really fun presents, although Brian's trying to kill me with the presents that he gets. Giant Twinkies and cupcakes. Oh my goodness.
It was only a 32 count.
I'm gonna end up on insulin after all that. So, but yeah. I shared them. Trust me, I shared them. Anyway, so that was all fun. All right, let's go into Am I in the Wrong? Recently, my husband has been unhappy with his weight gain, 30 pounds over 2 years, and health issues, including high blood pressure and high cholesterol. With a family history of diabetes and heart disease, he wants to lose weight. He has ADHD and finds planning hard. So I offered a to create a meal plan. Calculated his calorie needs, prepped his meals for a month, and ensured every meal fit his calorie goals. But his weight kept going up. I asked if he was eating anything besides the prepped meals. At first, he said no, but then he admitted he was regularly eating extra meals, snacks, and late night food, which doubled his calorie intake. He claimed he thought sticking to the preps just meant eating all of them, not avoiding extras. I told him he had to put in the effort if he wanted to change. He said no one asked me to help him. I'm done with trying to help, and now I feel tense. Now things feel tense between us. Am I in the wrong?
No, no. He's in the wrong because he doesn't want to really lose the weight, obviously. And oh, I eat extra meals. Okay, that's just bullshit. And the killer though, this is what happens when people know they're in the wrong. They say things like, "Well, no one asked you to help me."
Right.
And that's the line right there. That's the one that you underline because that's the one that shows you his guilt
Hmm.
and that he knew that he was in the wrong. But it's like you've done something wrong. No, you've done something wrong. Yeah. So yeah, that's it right there.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with that. All right. Hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, have you ever walked into a glass door?
Yes.
Yeah, same. Uh, yeah, that was a fun experience too. Hey, Chubbs, do you remember the moment you two actually became friends?
Oh, no.
No.
Has that happened?
Yeah, I don't
uh
know. Sometimes, but I
No, it was right around the time where we were both trying to get plays put up
yeah,
at Lambda, so it kind of just blended in there.
yeah. I mean, we knew each other and worked together before that, but that was when we started talking on the phone and stuff more.
Oh, by the way, I also walked into a oven door.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we it was weird. This house we lived in Carmichael,
Mm,
there was a walkway. There was a door like a opening to the kitchen, but they had put the oven right next to that walkway. So when the door was open and I was at a because I was like 9,
yeah.
probably 9 years old, so I was at a certain height and I couldn't see it. So I actually clotheslined myself with an open oven door, and
Um,
it just took me right down. It was like I hit it and I just dropped and slid right underneath it.
wow.
And it was only because of my height. Otherwise, if I was shorter or taller, I would have seen it.
Uh,
Yeah. So
it's funny. When I was about 5, they were bringing home the Christmas tree, and I was so excited. And in our farmhouse, we could run a circle like all the way through, like go around the kitchen, down one hallway, around the living room, and down to the front hallway. And they told me, stop running around, you're gonna end up hurting yourself. And sure enough, when I went through the front hallway, they were bringing in the tree. The door was open, and it was kind of dark, and I ran smack into the like the thin part of the door, side of
yeah,
the door, and I ran smack into that, and I still have a dent or a bump right in the middle of my forehead from that accident.
I still have a piece of pencil lead in my finger. I was just noticing today.
Huh.
Yeah, I got it.
Wow.
It was third grade. I remember when it happened. And the lead came out, but the stuff that was in the,
Graphite.
the residuals,
Yeah.
yeah, the graphite, you can still see the discoloration.
Huh. That's
That
crazy.
was I was 8, so that was 1967.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a
Uh,
long time.
they make those things to last.
Yeah, great.
Okay. Hey, Chubbs. Timothy wants to know what happened to the American dream.
This is a good question, and I'll tell you what happened to the American dream. They told us we could do anything we wanted to. We could be anybody we wanted to be. Okay, and that's not realistic.
Okay.
That's the problem. You can't tell everybody they can be president. I mean, technically they probably can if they're a natural born citizen, but there's only been 40, 45 different presidents
Hmm.
because Grover Cleveland won 2 different times. But so that's the thing. You build up a dream. You say, well, you can go to Hollywood and you can be an actor. Well, sure you can, but there's limited number of spaces on your dance card. Okay,
Hmm.
so the American dream just got too big. It used to be the American dream was to have a family and buy a home, and work in a job that gave you a pension and you could retire from. That used to be the
Hmm.
American dream. Now the American dream is like, well, I want to be an influencer on TikTok. I want to be a chef just like Gordon Ramsay. I mean, I can't cook, but I want to be a chef. Just like,
Yeah.
and if I don't get that, then
Everybody's so creative.
where's my American dream?
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just
I don't know. For me, when I think of the American dream, I still think of somebody that like wants to get married to whatever sex, if they want to have a family, they have a family or they have pets. They buy a house, they work a job that is fulfilling for them, they have the pension, and then they can go do things after, they have enough money retirement to go live, blah, blah, blah. To me, that is what I still think of when I think of the American dream. And I think one of the things that killed that was that uh, all the prices of everything are fucking skyrocketed, and we are still off of like 1970 wages. And then, of course, there was Reagan, who basically changed the face of America's everything and fucked us. So, anyway, when I think of the American dream and what happened to me, it is that the fact that we can't afford. You used to be able to afford a one person salary, could buy a house, have 2 cars, raise a family, and still go on vacation for a week, a year, or whatever. You could do that. And now you can't fucking do that. You need basically 3 people's incomes just to be able to exist. Anyway, that's my version of it. But I like yours too, because that's kind of true. It's just the different, job aspect of it, basically. But I can still be a star. I can. All right, moving on. I remember our new segment. I remember my first real kiss.
I don't.
You don't?
No,
Not your first real one, the one that really sticks out in your mind?
nope.
Huh. Okay. Uh, you got one at all?
What? No, I've had real kisses, but the first one, or I can't even remember who it would have been with.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, I
it's
mean, I remember I had kisses before this, but I think my first real kiss, my first real like, oh my God, this is a kiss, was in San Francisco, in my 20s with Rich. You remember Rich, the publisher, and that man could just uh Man, he was so good. We made out for about an hour, and I just left there going, "Dear God, I feel like a." It was amazing. Anyway, all right. Well, if anybody wants to send in anything for the remembering or what you want us to remember or talk about, just send it to us at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. In the meantime, Mr. Moose wrote in and said, "Hey, here's what's in my lunchbox. I wanted Italian food. Hubby wanted country cooking. Guess who got what they wanted? Here are fried pork chops, mac and cheese, and cantaloupe."
So the coating, he's using his famous coating on pork chops. That's interesting. Or maybe this is from somewhere else,
I
but
think this is a restaurant.
okay.
Like
Yeah, I guess you're right because
yeah,
they separated, but it's like because here we don't really coat our pork chops.
Yeah. Although,
I mean, I want to. I
yeah.
want to. Definitely, I want to. I want
Looks
that.
really good.
I know. I would eat those up before, hubby got his food. It's gone.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Yum.
Let's see. So, since I'm not tired enough after taking down Halloween, I baked hubby his favorite pineapple upside down cake. Tore up a bit, taking it out of the pan, but it still tastes good. And wow,
Yeah, I don't doubt that tastes good.
I do like, and I don't, I normally don't care for fruit and stuff a lot, but pineapple upside down cake is amazing. I absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I like the idea of being done in a 9 by 13 pan
Mm,
because um, the the round ones tend to be thicker
mhm.
slices, and I find that the thinner it is, the more
Crisp.
crisp, and the brown sugar and the pineapple kind of really invade all of the cake underneath or on top of it or underneath it, depending on which time you're looking at it. But yeah, that looks really good.
Very good.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moose, for sending those in. And we have one from our Burn Frosty, who sent in a salad with maple cinnamon drizzle and apple chunks and blue cheese. Yum. Wow. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it looks really
Range.
good.
Look at the grill on the chicken. Yum.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much for sending those in, you guys. And excuse me, you can always send photos over at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Let us know what's in your lunchbox. Oh, my stars and garters. All right. Hey, send us what's in your lunchbox. Well, again, or anything else. Any comments or anything, advice, questions, just send them at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. Find Tom's other podcast at swannerandjudd.com. Find my books and other projects at justkisstheguy.com. And find all of our links at allmylinks.com. And sadly, our phone line has been canceled. So we'll have to find something else for you to. Chub's gone wild. 69 seconds.
How about 408-69 vote?
Yeah. Yeah. That would be good, except don't call back because we don't know what it is. But yeah, please do vote. Vote well. Vote for the future. All
Hell,
right.
just vote blue all the way down the ticket. Because
Right.
that if the Republicans stay in the House,
Mhm.
taking the House, they're not going to declare the election.
Right.
They've said that Mike Johnson's already said he's not going to do it. And then what happens is all the states get one pick, one vote for, and the red states always outnumber, even though they've got 10 people in their state,
Right.
they'll get one vote. And California, which has 70, 80 million people gets one vote. So
Mhm.
let's not even give them that opportunity and vote blue down the line.
Yep, absolutely. All right. We love you, and well, we will catch you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.